Hi, all. Welcome back. I am Dr. Haydeé Brown, boy, mom, orthopod, entrepreneur, truth teller, and this
I'm
is
Dr. Sonya Sloan, mom, first lady of a mega church here in Houston, best-selling author, and lover of all things Kamala Harris. And we are eh-yah.
eh-yah. And today we are going to talk about the DNC. First,
Yeah.
let's just start with the fire of Kamala Harris, VP Kamala Harris, and this amazing clip.
That nothing is out of reach. An America where we care for one another, look out for one another, and recognize that we have so much more in common than what separates us. That none of us has to fail for all of us to succeed.
What did Michelle Obama say in her speech? Hope is making a comeback. I mean, this speech, even though it was the closing night, just put everyone at a precipice of happiness, of joy, but also the elation of that, there's still hope, that we still are a good America. Change is needed, whatever. There's always a work in progress in any organization. And that's what we are as the United States. We are a major organization in business. But more than anything else, she laid out a groundwork and gave us hope again, joy again, and the excitement from everyone this week at the DNC. There was such diversity and inclusion. I mean, you saw every walk of life. They did not exclude anybody. And the roll call, Dr. Brown, was on fire with the music and the fun.
Yeah, I mean, the roll call was amazing. First of all, I looked forward to each state. I was waiting for California at the end. I'm like, are they going to use Tupac? California. What an interesting way to reflect this process, right? The democratic process of selecting the nominee for the Democratic Party, to have a DJ with the songs. I mean, DJ Cassidy did a great job,
Awesome.
Especially with the song New York for the wonderful state of New York, my home state. But it was such a lively, the entire convention was so lively and celebratory and reflective of the United States that I think the majority of us believe in, right? It's diverse. There's different voices. We respect one another's voices. Like Tim Walz said, we know how to be neighbors, and we also know how to mind our own business.
Yes,
right?
He did. Yeah. He showed out this week too. He was phenomenal because he was so relatable to every person. I don't care if you were a man, woman, what your race was, what your gender choice was. He related to everyone. And his son, Gus, brought the heat, the love and the passion that he has for his father, but for his country as well, was just so well shown and documented. And it was unscripted. You can't script that kind of thing, So the Democratic National Convention was on fire and it was wonderful. But one of the best of the whole week was definitely our previous first lady, my always first lady, Michelle Obama. I can't even say it. I'm just going to send it to the clip.
See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. Wait. I want to know, who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
I mean, it's exceptional.
He said, who's going to tell him? Because he's going to tell a rude awakening. It's like, my husband had that job, so therefore it is a black job. So the one that you want now, that you basically destroyed last time, is what you're bidding for again, is a black job. I mean, that is his 45's worst nightmare, right? And then Michelle Obama came for his ass. I kid you not. She basically says, in 2016, when they go low, we go high. She basically was protecting the image, the role, and respectfully so, of a first lady in office. She basically, did what anyone did. Take the high road, right? But now She's like, time served. I've done my part. And let me just tell you, I'm not going to let you run over me, my husband, and or America. And let me show you. I can show you better than I can prove you. And she dished it out unapologetically to the point when Barack Obama came on stage. Oh my gosh, we were all just, I mean, the swag. Let's go there first. The swag.
Yeah.
We're all talking about it. The swag of
Swag.
Obama walking on the stage. But when he double grabbed and hugged her and then turned her to whisper something in her ear, you know, that was one of those, you did that. And I'm so proud of you. And it was probably sexy as hell. What? You know, he
Yeah.
said.
And his appreciation, right? He acknowledged that she is a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
Really, their relationship is one that I would say many of us aspire to have. I think one of the things about Michelle Obama, I mean, her speech was brilliant, fantastic, is that she came out as her authentic self. And, you know, often I think in her first book, Becoming, she talks about how, right, she was protecting this office. She was protecting the office of the First Lady. And let's talk about everything. She came out, she had braids. She had a long braid in the back. She never wore braids when she was in the White House, right? Because that wasn't viewed as respectable. Think about where we are now, thinking about Black women's hair and how we present ourselves. And she just mic dropped. Her mic drop was, this is who we are. This is who we are as a country. That Black job is the Black job that Trump wants, and that he is so intimidated. And he's not just intimidated by the hardworking, highly educated, successful people like the Obamas who happen to be Black. He seems to be intimidated by everyone.
Everyone.
Women,
Yep.
LGBTQ,
Yeah.
Anyone who's not originally born in the United States, if you speak a different language, if you look at different books, and really recognizing that that's the strength of our country. And that's what was celebrated. I think that's one of the essential moments of joy from the entire DNC is the representation of people as their authentic selves, and all of them being viewed as American.
Yeah, there was definitely a sigh of relief. And like you said, she came with the braids, the big hoop earrings, the arms out, and she came unapologetically and ready to speak truth to power. And so we pay homage to our Michelle Obama. She will always be fabulous and wonderful, and loved on Kamala Harris's moment and telling us, like, not just asking people to make sure they vote. She says, Michelle Obama is telling you to make sure that you vote. So I thought that was very powerful. And one of the things, of course, that came out of all of that was, did the DNC really speak to some of the issues or whatnot? And people have to remember the DNC is not specifically for that. This is a hype type of deal. It is getting people, back together and this camaraderie where we pretty much were almost devastated with the thought of having to run against this so-called dictator. But in the end, at the very end, I think, President nominee Kamala Harris spoke to a lot of major issues, and one that everyone is watching is Israel and Gaza. Go to the clip for us.
President Biden and I are working around the clock because now is the time to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done. And let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7. President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination.
And that's what it's all about. This is what a leader does. This is what a president does. You bring to the table the democracy, the conversations, the hard conversations with other nations, because what they're going through, we don't necessarily want to experience here. But even if we did, we have such an excellent military group. Our armed forces are wonderful. And even our, Tim Walz, being a veteran himself, spoke to a lot this week with the DNC, specifically when someone else, Trump, attacked our own military and really have degraded them and put them down. And it's been, a farce at best, and being a daughter of a veteran, a Navy vet, my heart goes out to our military. We are, if nothing else, more patriotic today because of some of the chaos we've been through. And people realize if it wasn't for our military, we wouldn't be America. And so what she said was excellent, I think.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty historic, right? That Vice President Harris spoke about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict at the DNC, and really it's a recognition of her responding to the party, right? The uncommitted movement, recall, they had several thousand votes that they cast as opposition to the way the United States was approaching the Israeli Gaza conflict. And the fact that she talked about Palestinian self-determination, dignity, security, freedom, that is historic. It's historic. And even wherever people stand on the issue as a healthcare provider, as a physician, to see the amount of devastation that was happening. And, Dr. Sloan, think about how we approach trauma, right? There's an entire ATLS protocol, and within that Gaza Strip, people are not able to even access physicians or clean water. This is something that the whole world seems to be upset about, and it's so important that VP Harris gave that a voice and balanced it with the rights for Israel to exist as well.
As as Palestine. Yeah, I think it was wonderful. The way well played. It was well played. So the week was phenomenal. We brought the energy, brought the hype from the DNC. There's so many more that were donated this week. I don't even think the final number was in as far as the amount of monies that were raised this week. And so our major claim is that if nothing else, make sure that you are registered to vote. Check your state, legislation, registration, poll sites, and that kind of stuff. Make sure that nothing has gone awry and that you're registered to vote. And then go vote early this year. We want to make sure that the counts are in, because it's not going to be enough just to win this. It's going to be, we need to do this by a landslide. And if you need hope, if you need a little joy, I think the best thing we can show you is the final closeout that is historic, as Dr. Brown has said, to the point where it brought us to tears last night in this one moment that is going to go down in infamy. Roll the clip.
On behalf of my mother and everyone who has ever set out on their own unlikely journey, on behalf of Americans like the people I grew up with, people who work hard, chase their dreams, and look out for one another, on behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America. And with this election,
she says it right there. I mean, tears to my eyes. The fact that my 13-year-old son, that your children, that all of our kids will grow up knowing that there's a possibility of having a woman president, a Black woman president, a South Asian woman president, a woman that graduated from an HBCU, a woman who came from a working class background. It's historic. It's historic. It brings tears to all of our eyes, right? It was a moment. And now we all have to fight, right? What is it, 70 something days?
73. We got to go.
We've got to go. You've got to vote. You got to make sure you're registered to vote. You need to vote early. You need to get your friends. You need to help people carpool. You may need to give people food, stand in those long lines in Texas.
Yes. And as Coach Walt said, inch by inch, we keep moving ahead. This is 4th and 10, and we got to go for it. And don't let up, because lives are on the line. We have to do this. And in this historic moment, her historic moment, there are no words. There are so many emotions of what this moment means, not just to America, not just to democracy, but to every little boy and girl out there in their future, to healthcare, freedoms, as well as rights to vote, as well as if it's their choice to do with their body, abortion or not. A lot is weighing on this election, and this moment has such weight that I think we're all going to go back and look at it at 10 years from now and realize if it had gone the other way, things could have been so different. So I'm appreciative, I'm happy, I'm joyous, I'm hopeful, if nothing else.
Thank you for visiting eh-yah. See you next time.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.